What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 70 of the Offshore Gamescast. If there was a Dave, it'd be me, and I'm here.
Okay, but that's only if there was a Dave, which means you're implying that there is no Dave.
And that would be Dylan!
I'm Dylan. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but there's maybe a Dave here?
You are definitely no Dave.
That I can agree on.
Guess what?
What?
This episode, we're going to be talking about new Tales from the Borderlands, the Silent Hill transmission, and if you haven't listened or have possibly forgotten, or maybe 1, 2, or 3 concussions have come your way in the past week, Season 3 finale is going to be coming up with Game of the Year 2022 on December 6th.
Wow, we need to start getting sponsors so you can read it. Because the whole thing started out as it's like a pure ad, but it's just for us.
Check out this brand new Tales from the Borderlands.
All right. We got some guest posts that we've been announcing our guests here and there. And this week we are starting with Kevin, also known as the Muffin Man from Save the Game Media, which is a whole group of shows. So there is Project X Talk, which covers everything Xbox. No Limits talks about everything PlayStation. Frame by Frame is everything with TV shows and movies. And I Hate My Friends is just a group of them bullshitting and talking about anything and everything. Kevin's awesome. He has left countless reviews for a whole shit ton of gaming podcasts. He listens to a whole bunch. He's a great dude.
And welcome back to the Online Warriors podcast. Illegal, Nerd Bomber, and Tactic talk about all their nerdy hobbies every week. We're so happy to have them back.
Also happy to welcome Twitch streamer Miss Cannon, which is at twitch.tv/MISSCANON. Lately, she's been playing Grounded, Disney Dreamlight Valley, The Quarry, and more. Go check her out. I popped into her stream the other night. It was a lot of fun.
Alessandro and Jen from the Starter Quest podcast. Alessandro is a gaming veteran, while Jen is a gaming newcomer, and together they review classic games to see how they hold up today.
All right. Looking forward to seeing those guest posts, but let's move on to Guess the Game. Go to guessthe.game. It is a website, which is basically Wordle with video game pictures. We compete every week. We compare our scores. You can compare your scores with ours. Lowest score wins.
You got to start writing this down. What are we at right now? You have your little notebook next to you.
I don't. I haven't had my notebook next to me for weeks, if not months.
Years.
I don't know what like the total overall number score is, which that would be an interesting experiment, but things have been going poorly for me. I am down 2. Did I close the gap again this week?
We will know shortly.
All right. October 18th, number 157. I don't remember if it was on the show or not, or if it was after the show.
It was after the show. It was a few minutes before we ended the episode, and then a few minutes later we went to bed, and I did it immediately at midnight. And oh god,
yeah, because you said right before we hung up, you're like, "Bitch, I'm gonna get it on one try."
Literally, and it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah, it was. All right, so October 18th, number 157 was Borderlands, which took me 2 tries.
Took me 1 try.
That was one of those that you would definitely have to be a Borderlands fan to like get it off the first picture, because I didn't see it at all.
Art style's half of it, and I'm pretty sure I looked at it. I'm like, is that New Haven? Are we in New Haven right now? Is that what that is?
It was the second picture where I could see more stuff, and then I saw the art style. I was like, oh, it's Borderlands.
Oh yeah, right up my alley. The next day on the 19th, number 158 was Fear, First Encounter Assault Recon. That took me 5 tries.
I squelched. I know of this game. I think I actually have this game on PS3. I've never played it. So
I played a little bit of it once.
Is it good?
But it was hard. The other ones are a lot more modern. This one was definitely more open, and you really got to explore and have fun with it.
All right. October 20th, number 159 was Twisted Metal, which took me 3 tries.
That also took me 3 tries.
I was very close to doing you know how I like combine words when they're near each other and mix it up, and I was very close to doing Baby Talk because of
Baby
Twisted.
talk.
Well, it's Twisted Metal, and then I said 3 tries, and I almost went Twisted Metal. It took me 3 tries.
Oh, baby talk. Oh man, that is a hard one.
Yeah, I'm not good with words.
You weren't good on the 21st either with number 160, that being Killzone 2. That took me 2 tries.
Complete squelch for me. I was once I realized the game was, I don't know why, I've done this before. I was, for whatever reason, and it probably helps that I never played any of them. I always mix up Killzone and Red Faction.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but
I thought you
once
were going to say that in Resistance.
No. Once I saw like what it was, I was like, oh, Red Faction. So I started guessing different Red Factions, and then I saw Killzone. I was like, fuck. I knew that, but I don't.
It was one of those feelings. I couldn't get it from the first one, but I saw that second image and something just told me, because I always think about the Red Faction 2 trailer that duped everybody. And it just, a strong gut feeling told me Killzone 2.
Well, I had no gut feeling at all. October 22nd, number 161 was Luigi's Mansion, which took me 5 tries.
That also took me 5 tries. And seeing that it took you 5 tries, that's a shock.
I'm also surprised, but I haven't gone back. I was either really tired, or if I remember right, it was never really clear to me. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't obvious for, I don't know. I played a decent amount of Luigi's Mansion growing up, so I don't know what my problem
exactly.
was.
I've never played Luigi's Mansion. You should have known that on the first or second.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a bad day, I guess.
Well, after that, we had on the 23rd, number 162, BioShock. Yet again, first try.
Yeah, that took me 3 tries. I think it's very, very interesting that you got BioShock and Borderlands
in the same week.
Yep.
But how could I not get those in the first try? I mean, those are just my games.
And then finally, October 24th, number 163 was Phasmophobia. I think we both got it at it was the classroom that tipped us both off. It took me 3 tries.
I still have never played it. I know you have.
I have briefly. It's scary.
Something about it just scary. I was just like, At first I tried PT and then Silent Hill. And then I was just like, fuck it. The Phasmophobia just feels right.
All right. That makes my final score 30.
What a drum roll. Mine is a nice, solid 20.
I've been had pretty badly this week.
Yeah, and now what am I? Twice in a row? 3 times in a row?
You are 3 up on me.
Damn.
Which I need to go on a winning streak if I'm gonna close this up before the season's over.
Oh yeah.
Did we ever decide if the winner does the winner get something? Did we ever decide that?
I have no idea.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Someone will buy each other lunch.
I hate lunch.
No. Don't lie. It's unflattering.
I only like breakfast and dinner, no lunch.
I had breakfast for dinner recently.
Like eggs?
Eggs Benny.
Eggs is good any time of day.
Very tasty.
All right, Dave, you've been busy this week.
There's been a lot to do. Among many things, I started A Plague's Tale. I am currently 2 chapters in. Second chapter was pretty long. But the first thing off the bat is just how pretty the game looks. How much time they put into detail of just making this foresty scene just feel real. As you're walking by this little stream up across this castle, you're playing this little game of like Hugo's the king, Amicius is like sergeant at war, and then they come across this like young boy who's like, oh, I want to play, and they're just pretending to like do an invading of a castle, and they all just win and they have fun. And in like just true Plague's Tale fashion of a scene or a chapter, it immediately turns very hectic as they go to explore through this castle to find out that it is just filled with all of these hooded villagers who are just very bad and out to attack. So there's this little sneaking section. Bring out your good old sling again to try to whack people with rocks and take them out that way. It's a little running section. Now, I got a question for you. I don't remember too much the main story by the end of the first game. Do you remember the mother?
The mother,
Yeah.
like their
The
mom.
yeah.
Yeah, don't you not? Isn't
Doesn't she die right in the beginning?
that's what I remember?
Because immediately in the beginning of the game, you go back and you're with your mom.
Maybe it's your dad that dies in the beginning then?
But he definitely does. But I thought they both did.
Maybe not.
I don't remember the mother being alive, but the mother's alive. Lucas is back. He's the one of the boys you came across in the first game. The hasn't really changed too much overall yet, with just the standard gameplay, just kind of being puzzly, having to maneuver around using fire and light, and like maybe you make a sling that's incendiary and you throw it to light something that's near you. You use a torch, sticks run out if you use them for too long to get from one place to another. There's so many more rats. So
Nice.
many rats.
The rats will never
Um,
stop.
They won't. And the Macula's coming back, and they're basically treating Hugo like he's the biggest VIP, and they're just trying to figure out what to do now.
It. Yeah, I'm excited to jump. I haven't installed. I didn't play it this week, but
Mm-mm.
I wanted to. This feels like the game I need right now.
Hugo's also had an Atreus moment so far.
Oh no, like he's kind of a bitch.
No, he went to go use his powers very like strongly, and you only see him focusing on it, and you hear the rats, but you don't see anything, and then he immediately passes out from overexhaustion of using it. So it's just I'm just thinking of Atreus when he goes to do something, and then just he's right out.
Okay, so okay, but he hasn't been an asshole yet.
No, he's just being a young kid doing his thing. He's having this weird vision with a phoenix. I'm curious to see what's going on with that, but I mean, the whole point of these kind of games is it's narrative and it's a stealth, so there's only so much you could talk about.
All the rats turn into phoenixes.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see it through, especially with how much fun the first game was.
Yeah, that first game was a big surprise for both of us, and
Absolutely. Like I was saying the other day, I remember seeing it years prior before its initial release and going, this looks weird. I don't think I'll ever play this. And then it came out and I was like, damn, this fucking hit at the right time. And it just was such a good story and I loved it.
yeah, and also kind of piggybacking off of what you were saying about the graphics, that was also a big surprise with the first one.
Absolutely. I there are certain circumstances and scenes where the audio doesn't necessarily match up well with the lips, and it
Okay.
still looks good, but it's definitely noticeable to a point where it will bring you out of it a bit. They're a little stiffer than you'd like, but visually everything and they themselves do look very nice.
That's one of those things that never like that's not the type of thing that ever makes me put down a game, but I find it very distracting.
Yeah, definitely. I've also been playing some more Elden Ring because how can I not? How can I stop?
There's no stopping.
I'm at about 39, just under 40 hours right now. And as I was talking to you before, I believe the last thing I mentioned on here was my takedown of the Sentinel Beast right outside the Citadel and my try of Renala once.
Right.
As of right now, I had a very bad night and I didn't end up sleeping, and I was up very, very late. And in that time, I did a bunch of farming. I got a bunch
Okay.
of runes. I leveled up a few times, did some more exploring, took out Renala on like my fourth or fifth try, which thank God that's over with. Hopped over, took out Radon on my third try.
Is that the one in the like the desert field thing?
Yeah, where he's on that real fast tiny horse.
That one, I mean, you're probably a higher level than I was when I did that fight. That one took me a good while. I really like that fight, but it took me a long time to get it.
I just kept going back for the summons and just running up, and as they had him busy, slashing and then running away, trying to dodge at the perfect times. And finally, on the third time, I took him out.
He has that attack in his second phase. There was a really bad attack that I was completely unable to avoid, and it would pretty much one hit me every single time.
Is it like the where he jumps up in the air and he spins coming down at you?
No, I don't think it was that. Doesn't he shoot? I mean, it's been months at this point, so I don't remember exactly. Doesn't he shoot like purple shit at some point?
I mean, in the beginning of the fight, he shoots arrows at you.
Okay, I'm. It wasn't. It wasn't the like thing. It was another move, but it
Okay.
fucked me up.
All right. After that, I was continuing the Rene quest, so I was running around Nokron, the Eternal City underground, for a good fun while. After a star fell out of the sky and made a giant hole.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get to any bosses down there yet?
I fought the Mimic Tear, which was myself.
Right. Okay.
That I got on my first try. That wasn't too hard.
Right.
I was exploring around and I was doing some other stuff. There's this area that has this giant just ball sphere in like this church area. That wasn't an actual boss, but I took him out. There's a lot of little explory parts, and there's 6 pyres that I have to light on fire. I've only found 5 of them. I don't know where the 6th one is.
Okay. You haven't fought any other bosses down there?
I do not believe so.
Okay. This whole area had the boss that I was stuck on, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna fucking do that one.
I think I need to look up a walkthrough and try to figure out more of what to do. But I did as much exploring in that area as I could for the moment, I believe.
Yeah, I find the underground area to be cool but confusing.
It very much so, especially with all these other little passages like on the roofs and other places.
Yep.
Yeah. I also popped into the Citadel for fun. I went over because I had 3 runes at this point, and the barrier was just already down, so I just kind of walked through and was doing some other stuff. Haven't explored too much through there just yet. I was just kind of checking it out, got to 1 or 2 graces, and then popped back out to do some other stuff.
What is the Citadel?
That's the big city right underneath the Erd tree.
Okay, I have not gone to Erdtree area.
Yeah. I haven't done too much there yet, but as of right now, I'm back at the Volcano Manor, trying to fight this gluttonous piece of shit, this huge guy who's really not easy, and I'm stuck. That's where I'm at right now.
All right. Well, you've done shit I haven't, so
I'm level like 70, 72 or something like that.
I think you're a higher level than I am.
It's fun.
It is fun. I gotta get back to it. It's just so much.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of so much, I started Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Did we start all the big hitters this week between both of us?
Pretty much. I mean, I haven't played Gotham Knights, and I don't know how long it'll be until that's on low enough sale for me to want to pick it up with the reviews coming out.
That's exactly what I was saying with, like, I normally don't put too much stock into reviews, but when it's like across the board getting like 4s and 5s,
Yeah.
I'm still interested in it, but right now with all these other games,
with just hearing how much of a
$6.
grind and how much repetitive like mission base it is just we're getting to the end of the year. I'm trying to figure out what is going to be worth my time enough to play that I feel like is going to go into my top 10.
Yeah, exactly. And also, then again, this is just based on reviews, so I haven't actually played it, but people saying that they barely do much with the Court of Owls, which seemed to be like a big focus, and that gameplay is just not smooth, which is kind of well, it was kind of like one of the big points of the Arkham games was how smooth it felt to play.
This is not at all a Batman game that people were expecting from that kind of series. This is its own universe, its own thing, and it's... Oh, man.
Yeah, so I guess you're right. We missed that one, but I don't think either of us are getting into it soon.
And I don't think it's going to wind up on either of our top 10. It's not like a
No,
Guardians of the Galaxy situation.
I don't think so.
Not at
All
all.
right. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So there's not much story to really talk about because it's Mario and Rabbids. The big bad person is gooping up the place and stealing people, and the Lumas need help from Mario Galaxy. Rosalina needs help because the Lumas are merging with Rabbids, and they're Rabbid Lumas, and that type of shit. It's not a story game. There's not much story to talk about. Let's talk about the stuff that's different from Kingdom Battle. The levels are way better, like night and day better.
Mm.
Did you play the first Mario and Rabbids?
Like anywhere from 5 to 8 hours, I would
Okay,
guess.
that's enough to talk about this. You know, when you're going through that first Mario Rabbids game, it's just kind of like a linear path, essentially, with maybe like a little like block pushing puzzle here and there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just a linear path, and then you do the combat encounters.
Mm-hmm.
Way different this time. You are in like a level, and it's just kind of an open level, and there is like a main objective for you to do, but there's just like enemies roaming around that you can then choose to either run away from or like initiate a battle with them. There's NPCs that give you these little quests to do. The quests are usually like, hey, can you kill 3 Goombas? Shit like that. There's just like little hidden puzzles and secrets, and you're collecting planet coins, which okay, this is it's gonna be a weird comparison. It gives me, in the progression and the changes that were made, Mario Odyssey vibes. Obviously, this is not this grand 3D platformer like Mario Odyssey was, but in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that it is just kind of like, here's your playing field, go explore, find little secrets, and collect these planet coins instead of moons, obviously. But
Yeah.
that type of it invokes that type of feeling.
Okay.
So like it's as easy as, oh hey, you found this little hidden area. Here's a planet coin. You solved this puzzle. Here's a planet coin. You did this big battle. Planet coin. It seems to be pulling a lot from, so obviously the Mario Galaxy games with the Lumas, now Rabid Lumas. The black gunk that's covering everything has like creepy eyeballs on it, but other than that, I don't know, something about the black gunk is just very Mario Sunshine invoking, and it doesn't help that the first level is like a beach level. So kind of getting vibes from that too.
Hmm.
The writing is good. It's, silly. It A lot of it. So the only fully voice acted character is the I don't remember his name. The little Roomba dude that you follow around, which you are no longer following the Roomba dude when you move your character around, which I appreciate because I found that confusing.
Mm.
Because I would always look at the first character in the party instead of the Roomba dude. The Roomba's just kind of
Yeah.
above the first character this time, and you're just controlling that
Okay.
first character. Combat is slightly different, such as when in the first game you were able to like do your attack and then also still move a little bit. This one is, once you shoot your weapons, like that's it. That you can't move after that. So it takes a little bit more strategy, a little bit more planning. Something I do appreciate is that you can change the difficulty whenever you want. You can change the difficulty pre-battle. And I didn't really look into it, but it basically seems like you can make it so you're invincible if you are really struggling and just want to get through something, which is nice considering how much I struggled with the final boss of the first game. But yeah, anyway, the voice acting, a lot of characters will just say like the first few words of what they're saying, and it honestly is like humorous. You meet this big goofball, and it'll just be like binga bonga boonga, and then say whatever he's saying, and it's just like it's wacky silliness that has gotten me to chuckle a few times.
That sounds fun.
It is the changes are smart and good. The combat encounters even though the first one was kind of like this, it seems a little bit more puzzle focused
Okay.
instead of it being like there is obviously the strategic aspect, but it's not super deep. But it's more like, okay, there are these bombs here that I can slide into, and then when I slide into them, I can pick them up and throw them at the enemies. And instead of it's more like, okay, how can I maneuver around this area and try to slide into these bombs and throw them at the other enemies to get them to explode, and see if I could do this whole thing in one move before the enemies can go.
Hmm.
It's I'm really enjoying it. I'm still in that
Okay.
first world because there's a decent amount to do, but good fun so far.
I wasn't the most like I didn't love the first one that much. I definitely didn't get too far. This is definitely not high on my list at all, but it would be something that I'm curious want to try. I do am
I
curious want to try
You two
play,
are
feel,
curious.
me, touch, information gather, uh, button click.
I followed all of that.
Good,
I
good, good.
will say I also did not love the first one. I enjoyed it just fine. I thought it was a good
Hmm.
game, but I didn't love it. Uh, I am, you know how it is when you start a new game, you're kind of coming off the high of it, or like you're in
Yeah.
that zone. That's kind of where I'm at right now. But so far, with the changes they made, I am really enjoying that part of this game.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I am on a trend. There was a sale going on for Xbox, and I was looking through, and a game popped up that I've been curious to try, but haven't really had too high of motivation to test out. But for about $6, I picked up Blasphemous.
Is
Uh,
this a new game?
it came out like 2 years ago, and it's getting it got like a big DLC and a sequel's coming out. Like it's very popular.
Okay, is that why people have been talking about it again? Because I've been like seeing it lately.
Yeah, a sequel was announced. It just recently got a big DLC. It's just
Okay,
very it's just like a very big cult game at the moment that's popping off.
so you
It's
joined a cult.
basically
Got it.
it's basically 2D pixelated Dark Souls.
Dead Cells,
That's more of a roguelike.
Hollow Knight.
Nah, not the same. This is like sword swinging and
Okay.
dodging and shit like that.
Oh, Dead Cells.
Yeah, but that's a roguelike. Anyway, it's definitely an interesting feel going from something like Elden Ring to this. Completely different play styles and everything, camera. Uh but it still has that same fun and excitement. You have your little you get a bunch of collectibles. You have this rosary beads, and I'm not entirely sure what everything does, but I've put on two so far, and I have these abilities, and one that I'm keeping on is when I press the left trigger, it does a special ability where I put my sword into the ground and it sends in either direction this like AoE attack that can batter enemies up to a few times as long as I'm within enough range, which is nice for bosses. And definitely got to learn their attack moves. So even in certain circumstances where you're pushed up against a wall, it's just like, all right, I need to jump in this spot because I can't like dodge and get behind them just yet. I'm just kind of stuck here. I don't know if there are big bosses or anything. I took out the first one, which was like the main one to start the game, and possibly the second one or a mini boss. I'm not too sure. I'm just running around and exploring. It's got that classic Metroidvania style map. We're just kind of going up and down and hopping around.
What a journey you're on right now.
It's not gonna stop either.
I'm curious. Like, are you gonna start playing like the old Castlevania games now? Is
No,
that next?
nah,
Oh,
not in that sense. I'm just gonna be playing all the other Souls games. I'm just gonna jump around in those, and you're just gonna be hearing a lot of Soul talk from me for a while.
hey man, nothing like a good old deep soul talk.
Mm-hmm. So you just really gotta slash it up, you know.
Gotta what? Slash it up.
The soul ripped to pieces, brother.
Speaking of ripping my soul to pieces, let's talk about Grounded.
Uh-oh.
All right. Um, this is the update. Got all of the super chips, which
Nice.
is that is what you need to. You basically need to get the super chips to get Burgle his memories back, so he could be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, this is how you become big again and get out of this yard." I won't go into it because there is some story and lore stuff here, so I'm not going to go into the details. The last area sucked. It just did. It was like this is I don't like this type of game design. It does the thing where, oh hey, there's this new area. Let's like leave our home base and go explore it and like do the thing that's there. Oh hey, we get here. We need shit from this area in order to progress in this area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Where it's like you're starting off at 0 again.
like basically, like we got to the last area, which is a journey from our home base that we built, like the whole big base we have.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find we were like, okay, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go do the little dungeon here, the lab, and like get towards the end of this game. You get there, it's like, oh, you need level 3 tools to progress anything here. So it's like, all right, we just went on that whole journey for nothing. Let's go back now.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, make level 3 tools. We get what we need with the dungeon and everything. Then we go to then what we got from the final lab is basically the recipe for a thing we need to craft to become big again, which was okay. Now we gotta go back home. Go back home. Come back. Get ready to do this last thing. Oh hey, surprise! You need to craft a bomb to get into this area.
Oh, wow.
To do
Oh,
that,
nice.
you need red ant eggs. The only place to get red ant eggs is, you guessed it, back home.
Mm-hmm.
Journey back home. Go back. This was like hours of time.
Damn.
Also, the final section is like, I don't know if maybe we needed to level up our gear more, but it feels like we're already grinding so much. The final section is way too hard, and we are playing on the mild difficulty. And everything there is mean and fucks you up. There is no peace in this final area. There's no peace to be found anywhere. I don't know if we're gonna be finishing it. We finally got everything we needed, and there's again, I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but there's a big fight at the end. Not necessarily a boss, but just a big fight. And like I said, we're on mild. We got destroyed. Not even close to doing what we have to do. And it was like, all right, so is this going to be one of those situations now where we have to grind for hours upon hours again to upgrade our gear and get all the materials we need to do this thing? And I don't find that type of style fun.
Yeah.
I know it's a survival game. I know that's like more than half of what survival games are, is that grind like that, but this game for me has the highs were great. I think the opening area is a lot of fun, and when you're exploring the labs and going through them and finding some lore shit and doing a couple bosses, like that stuff is cool and unique. And then the grind and the bog, it really like kills it for me.
You think it's going to be put down for a little bit and you're going to get that call to try to like blast through it and finish it?
Well, I'm not gonna touch it again for a while. Luckily, my girlfriend really enjoys the grinding aspect,
and she's gonna get everything ready for you, and she's gonna be like, "All right, let's go."
I mean, that's basically been this game in a nutshell with me, because I don't love survival games. It's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how long that goes on, because I think we're gonna need a lot.
Just wait till next year where we play Medieval Dynasty every day for the rest of our lives.
I don't think that's what we said.
I don't know. You said, I can't wait to play this. I would sell all of the plasma in my body.
There must have been a miscommunication.
Connection was fine on my end.
I can't. Maybe not on my end then.
Maybe not.
So we'll see what happens with Grounded, but there were moments where I was like, yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I could see this maybe like kind of sneak into my top 10, or at the very
Ooh.
least be an honorable mention. And then the grind hits, and it's just when I'm playing this game, I either am really liking it or hating it.
Mm-hmm.
It's complicated.
I completely understand.
Thank you.
Got one
All right,
last game
Dave.
to talk about. One.
Is it new?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Tails?
No more questions. I'm getting sleepy. So,
Okay.
of course, new Tales from the Borderlands came out. And of course, I had to play it because it's me.
Mr. Borderlands.
We get to start off this game with a brand new set of characters. There's a whole bunch of new ones, and there are some good, fun, returning ones. We have Anu. Full name Anuradha Dar. She is the older sister, sort of. She's the scientist who works at Atlas, and her little so-called brother, they're like adopted, or like adopted each other, whatever. Octavio Wallace Dar. He's like the street kid brother. Everyone's chilling around
Oh,
in
Cyberpunk.
Promethea. Exactly.
I understand now.
And for anyone who played Borderlands 3, when Katagawa ended up using the laser and taking out Reese's favorite Frogurt shop, Fran's Frogerts, we play as Fran, the owner of the wonderful Frogurt shop.
Fran Yogurt themselves?
Fran Miskowitz.
The Fran Yogurt?
The Fran Frogurt.
Frogurt, sorry. The Fran Frogurt?
Yes. Fran's Frogurt shop.
I can't believe it.
And they are wonderful characters. Big fan of these guys, especially some of the other new ones. We have Timmy, who is Reese's little like chair assistant robot buddy. So Anu works for Reese and keeps upsetting him because she keeps not wanting to test on animals and letting the animals go free. She's also against killing, so she's in the process of trying to create a healing device, not a gun. Except Atlas and all these other companies are about killing. So she gets fired.
Is Reese from other Borderlands games?
He was a playable character in Tales from the Borderlands, the original, and he shows up in Borderlands 3 and I believe the DLC for Borderlands 2.
Okay. That, I was going to say, that name sounds familiar from being around people that enjoy Borderlands.
Yes. Timmy ends up getting sent away because the original prototype for her healing device is just like a teleporter, and she shot it at Timmy, and Timmy just kept coming and going throughout the entire game, just popping in and out of just area, and it was really comical. But I wish Timmy was around for more than just popping in and out. There's also Louis, who's an assassination bot and basically buddy to Octavio. He doesn't really care about anyone at first, and as long as he gets their name and they're on the registry and he can confirm it, they're dead. But he opens up more, and he's a good boy. Problem with Fran, they don't like each other too much. She doesn't like bots too much.
I like how your notes for this is that Louis, which I was reading as Lou 13, is cool and funny.
He's got some really good, like, I don't understand sarcasm bits, and it's pretty funny.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
It's one of those things that is done a lot, yet somehow managed to hit most of the time.
Exactly. Like him trying to understand social norms, like Octavio
Yeah.
pulled a prank, and he's just like, you just got Octavio'd. And after telling Louis that he needs a catchphrase and something cool, he kills one of his people, and he just goes, you just got LOUI13'd.
Yep.
It's fun. It's funny. Overall, this game has a much different vibe to it compared to the first one. It's definitely a lot more lighthearted and jokey in most of the episodes and moments. Definitely like leaning away from more like serious, like emotional stuff. They really
Okay,
try to bring more comedy into it, which
because
definitely makes it harder to hit.
I was okay. I was gonna ask about this because again, someone on the outside of this stuff but knows a little bit. From what I understand about Tales, is that it's Borderlands, so it has some sort of humor to it.
Yeah.
But it was like it was still like pretty serious and emotional.
It was. I feel like a lot of that had to do with the established characters that returned for it at the time.
Okay.
It definitely brought a lot more weight than some of the returning characters that came back in this since they were much newer. But even so, and I feel like you grew to these two characters, Fiona and Reese, very fast, and even in some of those serious moments, it just felt more at place to be serious, and these moments really make it like on the bright side.
Okay.
I feel like
So
part of that
different
has
vibe.
to do with the update to the animations in general, which just looks like almost a clean mocap actor, like down to the face and like facial animations. The syncing is fantastic, and just very animated bodies and reactions and faces as it goes around. And unlike some of the other Telltale's type games, when you are in the explore like part where you're walking around, it's basically just a third person game. Like you're not like a fixed camera walking around a room. It's just over the shoulder walking around collecting cash out of boxes and just looking at things.
I feel like that's a natural progression that should have probably happened a long time ago. Like obviously the whole Telltale shit went down, but that feels like a
Yeah.
natural progression. That's where it should be.
It's definitely weird to see in comparison because most of the other ones are that other style, and this just feels
Right.
like it's almost a completely different game because of it. And it be also because of that vibe of just that more lightheartedness. It feels so distanced from the original one,
Is
but
there
still fun.
any like real connection to it, or is it just the fact that it's like a Telltale like game?
Pretty much just that it's like a Telltale like game. It's just another story, like
Okay.
another tale from the Borderlands. This time on Promethea instead of Pandora.
Got it.
Um, but I mean, a bunch of crazy stuff goes down, and there's always a vault that gets to be hunted and looted and whatnot.
How many vaults are there?
I don't have that number off the top of my head. On Pandora, there's like 3 or 4.
Okay,
Uh,
this is not like a hey, there are this many vaults in the universe.
no, because
It's
in
just
Borderlands 2, that was the second time a vault has been found on Pandora, and then they found the map, which had vaults all over other planets, and then you went to the other planets and they had vaults, and then even some of the DLC. I know that actually Pandora might have 4 or 5.
okay, so there's a lot of vaults,
There's
basically.
there's, a, there's vaults. There's never gonna be an ending of vaults. We just need more
Okay,
understanding on the Iridians and Sirens and every fucking other thing.
got it.
There's some cool mechanics, I guess you would call them, that you can do while you're exploring around. Anu has these research goggles that'll let you scan different machines and learn more about them. Pretty much just finding little information, which is fun. And similarly to Octavio, he's got an Echo Dex on his wrist, like a very high tech smartwatch, and uses that with a jailbroken version so he could like hack other people and find out their information and see where they are on like a list. Um, there's a lot of customization, similar to the other Borderlands games, where you have different skins and you can change. In this instance, you can change the different way the research goggles look, and then she has a whole other outfit to a point that they have similar aspects of outfits like the other Borderlands games, where it completely changes their hair up and like what they would be wearing, which in a Telltale like game where you're kind of used to seeing their faces, having the ability to change their completely entire look down to their hair with an outfit makes it weird and much less immersive in that sense. I ended up changing the color of Fran's like hover hover parts on the bottom of her chair, and Anu's outfit, but still kept the same hair, but it was like a whole white thing. I didn't touch Octavio at all, pretty much, except for his Echo Dex. But when you change it that much, I feel like it also doesn't make the story fit as well. Especially if you do like the super punk looking for some of them, it just doesn't. It's just weird for something so narrative.
Are you saying punks can't be narrative?
It's just a very weird thing if you're playing through part of the game and they look one way and all of a sudden they just turn real goth and punk and then they're just going through the same story and instances. It's really weird.
Listen, everyone has their punk or goth phase,
Mm-hmm.
and they just happen to hit it in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I let my character survive that. Very interesting for these kind of narrative Telltale games is that in this, without even selecting any settings, there's a prompt that comes up that it tells you what kind of prompt you will be hitting, whether it's moving the analog stick or the arrow in one direction, or if you're pressing a button or mashing a button or holding a button. It pops up a different thing telling you what's going to happen before it happens.
So, okay, so it kind of prepares you for the type of quick time event that's coming up.
Yeah, like this is going to be a dodge, and then something comes up and it's an arrow to the left, or it's like this is going to be a button press and you have to click B or something else.
Okay, it when you say it out loud that it's a prompt for a prompt, it sounds kind of silly.
Yeah.
But that makes sense to me.
It makes sense. It's a little bit to get used to, and at the beginning it feels unnecessary, and as you get through it, you're like, whatever. I guess it's just like, we really don't think people are going to pay that much attention.
Yeah.
Overall, these definitely feel like much shorter episodes. I feel like I finished off this game much faster than what the original Tales was, although they say in the credits that this game was mainly put together during COVID, so I get it. It makes sense. It's a lot to write. It's a lot of different options to put down. But, I mean, I feel like I enjoyed my time with it overall based on the story and especially on what happens at the end, but we'll get to that in a second. One little extra thing that they've added is a mini game inside. There's this recurring character from the organization who, funny enough, TDOR's first time being an enemy, and it's not even in a standard like full whatever mainline Borderlands game, which is hysterical.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
TDOR is like the gun company that's like the Walmart of guns. You shoot your bullets, you throw the gun away, and another one just pops up in your hand.
That's been in games before?
Yeah, they've been there since Borderlands 1, but or Borderlands 2, they really got more known. But they're like the Walmart of guns. It's hysterical. But the lady, the CEO, Susan Caldwell, is a pretty good bad guy and character for it. I enjoyed it. But I just find it funny that they can't even be a bad enemy in like the original, in like a mainline game. They're just taking over whatever Mali one already took over in Promethea. But there's this little extra thing called Vaultlanders, which throughout the game you find these figures of the different Vault Hunters and characters and whatnot that have been in the other games, each with their own stats and little abilities. And you get into these Vaultlander games, which on this one town, everyone takes super seriously. And you go up against someone, and it's basically like a Pokemon Go raid-esque battle where you just keep mashing A, and then prompt will come up that's like an arrow to dodge the enemy, and then you get critical hit every time you attack after that. So it's just a mashing game. Whoever wins, you end up getting their Vaultlander at the end of it. So you're collecting some throughout the games and the episodes, or you're collecting them through battles. It's fun. I like it. And they also have their little combos at the end and like Mortal Kombat style of like a finisher that like the figure does. It's cool.
I like when games have those little mini games within it.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I would give it a 7. I ended up finishing the game as of today. And from this point, Spoilers for the ending of New Tales from the
Wow, we're
Borderlands.
going into spoilers for the end of it?
Full spoilers for the final cutscene.
All right, fast forward if you don't want to hear it.
All right. So, I, as a Borderlands fan, I'm frustrated about numerous things. Since the ending of Borderlands 3, they have mentioned that coming in the DLC of Borderlands 3 or sometime in the future, but I feel like they were really trying to get in the DLC. We were going to figure out what happened to Lilith. And she was mentioned as like a little side mention once or twice throughout the main game. But it's not the only character that we want to know where they are. And as Marcus is talking in the ending cutscene of the game, he's talking about the characters to somebody, and you find out that somebody is Fiona, who walked through the vault with
Shrek's
Reese.
wife?
Shrek's Cameron fucking Diaz, bro. She is talking to Marcus, and this is a character who walked into the vault with Reese back in the end of Tales from the Borderlands, and we haven't heard a single thing since. Reese came back. Reese was doing stuff, but now where's Fiona? And she's finally back. And I am very curious if this is just going to be the main plot of Borderlands 4 whenever that comes out. To which
I don't know. I was trying to follow that. I think I mostly did, but I don't know these people.
I have a feeling and hopes if Borderlands 3 came out in 2019, there's a good chance it could be released by 2024 and maybe announced 23, but could be released in 2024, I would hope.
This is the second Borderlands game you've beaten this year.
It is.
Do you think either of them make your top 10?
I feel like this one would, but I also have to go through and see what other games I've played and beaten and how I think about that. I definitely liked the original Tales game better. It had much more of an impact on me, but this was still a very good experience.
What a world we live in, where imagine if I told you January 1st, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, 2 Borderlands games are coming out this year. One is a potential top 10 for you. Oh, and you know that Elden Ring game? It might be your game of the year.
Definitely not game of the year, but oh my god, I never would have saw it being such a contender for any of the other spots.
Yeah, oh, it's not your game of the year as of now?
No, it is not.
Steel Rising. Well, actually, we probably
No.
shouldn't say what it is. We're going to have a whole special episode for that.
That we are. Can't be talking about any of this.
All right. That does it for games. Lots of games this week. But we got some news.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start this off lighthearted. Actually, okay. We wanted to mention this last week. This is not lighthearted. This is something I just remember now. Wanted to just talk about it's gaming related because there's been a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh games in history.
Right.
It's sad news. The Yu-Gi-Oh creator, Kazuki Takahashi, has died because he was trying to save. He was part of kind of a group of people that was trying to save people from drowning, and in the process, he drowned. Which is sad. It's also, we were talking about it after we recorded last week's episode. We were like, oh, we should have talked about that. But it's sad and also kind of heartwarming to see someone who is obviously like in a high position, probably has a lot of money.
Like,
is not
what a
typically
more honorable way to go of like the most like kind-hearted way of just let me try to save people, and in the process just that happens.
Right. So died a hero, sad stuff, kind of a crazy story in general, but yeah, wanted to mention that last week. Moving on from that, what I wanted to start this off with, which was going to be lighthearted and then now isn't, there is an Elden Ring jazz concert happening. It's happening this December. It is Kenny Garrett and Takuya Kuroda, who are apparently jazz Legends, I'm not exactly in on the jazz world, so I don't know, but I'm sure people that know jazz know them. And it will be an improv concert. There's gonna be a lot of improv thrown in, which this is weird. It's kind of it's like silly, but also really cool.
Mm.
That of all things, Elden Ring is getting an improv jazz concert. That's it. I wanted to mention it. I find that it's one of those weird things I just find very interesting.
That's all right. We'll get Elden Ring on ice from Disney in like the next 2 years.
Not from Disney, but Elden Ring
You
on
never
ice would be
know.
cool.
Oh yeah. We got a little announcement. Mortal Kombat Onslaught. It is going to be a brand new mobile RPG with a focus on its cinematic story. I don't know how it will be pertaining to the mainline story that's going on. There's a lot of weird time shit that's happening, so who the fuck
Yeah.
knows? Aftermath felt pointless because the story ended at the same place that it ended at the end of 11, but whatever. You'll be going through collecting a roster of different characters from Mortal Kombat and teaming up with other people sometime come 2023.
Yeah, that's happening.
I feel like I'd play it. I don't know.
If
I
once
like
it's
Mortal
talking about
Kombat.
cinematic, it's Mortal Kombat 11, like 10, 9 and 10 were fun. 11
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, 10 really got me excited, and 11 is made me here to stay.
Yeah, that is a very fun game, a very fun story. Even for people, like me, who do not really like fighting games and did not really grow up with Mortal Kombat in any way, I still really enjoyed that game.
Mm-hmm.
So if this has more story shit like that, then yeah, I'm probably in.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know anything about The Sims Project Rene?
No.
Okay, so there was a Behind the Sims Summit, which is a thing EA does to talk about upcoming shit with The Sims and updates and things like that. There was a whole lot of stuff announced at this thing. If you're big into The Sims, you probably already know it. I just wanted to focus on Project Rene because this is their next game. They did not call it The Sims 5 yet. Maybe it will be The Sims 5. It does not
This
have
just
an
seems
official
like a
name.
huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Like an
So
overhaul.
customization, they showed some of it, is going to be way deeper. Okay, so this is the example they had. There's a couch, right? Normally in The Sims, you buy this couch and you just put it down somewhere on the grid, and that's that. This is okay. Here's this couch. You can customize it by picking different couch cushions or pillows and placing them wherever you want on the couch. Then there's a color wheel that you can use for every part of the couch. And then on top of that, you can apply different patterns to different pillows and different cushions and the whole couch altogether. So you could basically make this couch completely unique from any other couch that's out there. It's not as simple as here's couch A. I'm going to put couch A here.
Mm-hmm.
The placement is also, it seems way less to be that kind of like grid style and more like the example they showed again was kind of like a living room area, but everything was all like kind of, that look where things are kind of crooked,
Askew.
but sure, it was a style. And then you can kind of like group the whole thing together. So the example they show was like a couple couches, a rug, maybe a couple plants. It's like this whole little living space. You can kind of group that all together and name it a custom thing. So let's say you want to name it living room. This
or
living room,
Jonathan.
or Jonathan, if that's what floats your boat. You can now have Jonathan as just a single item that you can place at, different parts of the game. So let's say you're building another house one day, you're like, oh, that Jonathan living space I made forever ago would work here. You just look up Jonathan, you put Jonathan right there, and you have your living room.
Or maybe you want to put down a 4-dog in your bathroom, like you do in the kitchen.
What?
A 4-dog.
What?
That is 4 dogs stuck together.
Is this a thing, or? Because I don't think you can do that in the
my source says that it was true.
You got a source on Project Rene?
Yeah, and they said that the 4 dog is back and it's brand new.
Oh, it's back. Okay. 4 dog is back. They also showed the simultaneous play across multiple devices, as in, let's say you have your PC, you're looking at your monitor, then they showed a phone underneath it, and it was like the same game, clearly like the same save file, if you will. On the screen, on the computer screen, they placed a piece of furniture. It is then there in the mobile version simultaneously. And then they showed in the mobile version, they like were scrolling through, picked a new piece of furniture or a different color or something, and put it in the game on the phone, which then also appeared on the PC. So it's completely like simultaneous in that way. They did specify you can play through this, or I don't know, play through it. I don't know if there's gonna be a story or a campaign. They have done that in past Sims games, and I hope that they do that for this. But you can play alone, obviously, or with a group of people, which could be fun. And it is still very early concept, hence, like, it still has a project type name. So this felt like kind of a big upgrade to The Sims, and kind of has me excited for whatever this is. If it is The Sims 5 or some sort of shoot off of The Sims.
I have no idea. They don't do much to me.
It depends. It depends for me. I used to love The Sims when they had. I've talked about it before. It didn't necessarily have a story, but it gives you like goals of like, you start out living with your mom, and you have to like learn basic skills. You have to like fix the TV, earn a little bit of money. Then
Walk,
you can move
breathe,
out
brush
and
your
be like,
teeth, separate
no,
two
not
pieces of
no,
paper that are stuck.
nope, nope, nope,
Oh, damn.
nope. You just don't get it.
I guess I played the other Sims game.
The Sims Baby Edition.
I know.
You were describing stuff that a baby learns.
No.
What did you say?
Breathing.
Yeah, you learn that as a baby.
Babies don't know how to brush their teeth.
I'm sure some do.
You're not a baby anymore. You've evolved.
That's all it takes.
You're
Brushing teeth.
basically one step under businessman at that point.
Wow. Baby to businessman with a simple brush of the teeth.
That's the whole title for the next Sims game.
Project Rene. Nope. Baby to businessman.
Brushing the teeth.
Brushing the teeth.
Mm-hmm. That's not the only thing. We have so many more transmissions.
Well.
Semantics. We got a we got a Silent Hill transmission coming right off the bat. Silent Hill 2 remake. Because no one likes the first one.
Yeah, listen. I have not really dabbled in Silent Hill. I didn't grow up with it.
No.
I don't know what the deal is with that. Why 2 and not 1? Is Silent Hill 2 a direct sequel, or is it like its own deal? I don't know.
Maybe it's more popular. I don't know. It's being made by Bloober Team, the people who did The Medium. It's going to be a PlayStation exclusive with a behind-the-shoulder camera perspective. Going to be spooky. Spoopy!
Yes, feels like spooky is really happening lately.
After that, Silent Hill Townfall. Whatever that is, it is still early in development, being made by No Code.
No cap.
Observation.
Yeah, Observation was fun. So I could see that developer doing good with another spooky franchise.
So fans deciphered secret messages in the teaser trailer. There's a lot going on with all these riddles and stuff with these video games.
Yeah, it's like a thing.
Who likes Silent Hill? What about returning to Wolfenstein, Castle Wolfenstein? This movie is a direct sequel to the 2006 movie with the same director, Christoph Gans. We're going back to Silent Hill.
Return to Silent Hill. not Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh. Silent Hill Ascension is going to be like a Silent Hill con. It's going to be a big event happening in 2023. It'll be live streamed by Konami. What?
It's not a convention.
It's an event happening. It's an
It's not-
OnlyCon.
It's what?
It's an online con. OnlyCon.
OnlyCon.
You're looking onwards. Listen, everybody in chat will be able to decide what happens with the characters, their relationships, and what happens in the story. And it only happens once. It's like a live narrative game type deal. The story will be the final story. It can't be played on your own, and you can't take over.
Did I write takeover?
Start over.
Okay, start. I was gonna say takeover.
You cannot take over Konami as a business.
Yeah, this is probably the most fascinating thing to me.
But like, you're not gonna get. No one's gonna get the story they exactly want if everyone's gonna be voting like
also,
a poll
if
style.
everyone's gonna be doing this in a chat, this is gonna be ridiculous because everyone's gonna pick
hectic.
the stupidest options that there are.
Right? It's just gonna turn into a big troll.
Yeah, but I'm kind of there for it.
Whatever. We also got Silent Hill Fuck. Takes place in Japan in 1960s. It seems to have the skin peeling that was previously part of the leak, which was written by novelist Ryukishi07. Higurashi When They Cry.
Yeah, that's what they wrote. That's what they're known for.
It is being developed by Neobards Entertainment. Very interesting title.
Well,
Fuck.
Nope, it's just F.
And why is it lowercase?
I don't know. I don't know these things, but it was a cool trailer.
I wish at the end of the trailer they just turned around and they went, fuck.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Then what's the point of the game?
This
Silent
was
Hill Friendship.
So like pretty much all the rumors were true, as in a lot of Silent Hill games were in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Team Bloober is making a Silent Hill game, or sorry, Bloober Team. There's a remake. The skin peeling thing turns out was F, whatever F means.
Fatal.
Definitely, it's definitely a better chance of being fatal than fuck. But yeah, this was a good showcase or transmission. Sorry,
it was interesting.
Right. We got an update to the Bayonetta 3 boycott situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed it last week, voice actress for Bayonetta, Helena Taylor, went to Twitter all, hey, Platinum really lowballed me on the offer. They offered me $4,000 to do the role. It was insulting. I'm not doing it. Boycott the game. A lot more has come out since then. This someone is lying. That's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so according to a couple of reports, including one from Jason Schreier, just to it's probably legit if his name is attached to it.
Yep.
And they include some documentation that Platinum was actually looking to pay Helena Taylor between $3,000 and $4,000 per session for 5 sessions. So the pay would have actually been between $15,000 and $20,000, not the $4,000 offer that she said it was, which would seemingly be for 1 session. But we got a little bit more clarity on that coming up. VGC claims that this would be a big pay increase for her from Bayonetta 2. The reports were that Helena Taylor rejected this and wanted 6 figures for her role. Now listen, I don't know the economics of voice acting and acting in general. I don't know if 6 figures is a lot. People are making out to be a lot.
It sounds like it's a lot from some of the things that I've read.
Yeah, it seems like it is. I'm sure voice actors and people, I mean, it's no secret that people in the gaming industry are underpaid and not treated well. So I don't know what a good pay is for a voice actor. According to these reports, there was a long negotiation, and at the end of it, Platinum decided to hire Jennifer Hale. Helena Taylor was also said to have denied an offer for one session for a cameo appearance later down the line.
I
All
feel like
right,
that's insulting at that point.
that this happened, right? Then Helena went to Twitter again to respond. She says this is an absolute lie and that Platinum is just trying to save their ass and their game. And she clarified some things, which also. All right, I'll just throw out the facts and I'll give my thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
She says the first offer was $10,000, which is when she wrote in to Kamiya, and then she got offered an extra $5,000. So that would have been $15,000 total. She declined. Then she got later on got the offer of $4,000 to voice some lines for the cameo appearance. That's where it seems like the original thing where she went to Twitter was like, they offer me $4,000. This is insulting.
Yeah, but like,
That's
who is gonna know about everything else?
yeah, that's where it seems to come from. She says the $4,000 for 5 sessions is a total fabrication. Those are her words. There were no extensive negotiations, and she says in the report that she was asking for $250,000. I didn't know about that specific number, but that seems to be the 6 figures. She called it a ridiculous fiction. All right, this is obviously this is all a big mess. Some people are not being completely honest, and typically in these situations, it's usually somewhere in the middle. But the original thing where she went to Twitter calling for the boycott, saying she was offered $4,000 for the role, was at the very least grossly misleading. Like,
Yeah,
there's
she
no
she
other
twisted
way.
a lot of words.
Yeah, and I want to be on her side so bad because we see it all the time in this industry. Employees not being treated well, employees not being paid enough, terrible conditions for employees working on video games. So, like, I want to be on her side because I don't want this to be a situation that it gives a bad rep or a bad name to people who are actually just trying to get fair pay from situations.
Yeah,
It's a mess. I'm sure we'll get another update on this, maybe even this week. Uh yeah, this people are lying clearly, and it's not a good look for Helena Taylor to have that originally misleading Twitter video where she was calling for a boycott on the game. So this is just, I don't know. Want to believe her, want to be on her side, but after that, I'm kind of like, huh, who do I believe here? Probably not her, which sucks because I want to.
either way, I'm gonna temporarily and voluntarily boycott the game.
Because you're going to play other shit.
Yeah, it is definitely not high on my list, and I don't have that kind of money for brand new games that aren't that exciting to me.
Yeah, it's also, I'm sure it's not going to be super long because the Bayonetta games are typically not super long. So
Yeah,
a lot of money for a short game, but it's, yeah, I don't know.
they're
It's a
fun
mess.
run around button click games.
They are.
We got another showcase, transmission, direct drop
There was
of
only one
information.
transmission this week. God damn it.
Resident Evil had a showcase, starting with Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, and more of a look at the Shadow of Rose DLC. It will have a fun little third-person mode and fully come out on October 28th. I wanna play. I wanna know what happens. I don't know if or when or I'll jump into it, but I want to. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, especially because they
Ethan,
keep billing it as like, this is the end of the winter story. This is it.
and I don't want it to be done.
Well, it's going to be done with
I want
this.
more first-person games. They're fun. They're so
Well, we
good.
might get that still.
Also coming October 28th, Resident Evil Reverse, the multiplayer game that no one cares about. If you have Village already, it'll be free, but who cares? It looked not good when it was originally shown off, and just doesn't seem like a fun concept.
Yeah, everything needs to have multiplayer now, though.
Yeah, Also, on October 28th, if you have a Mac and you have not played Resident Evil Village yet and you want to play Resident Evil Village on your Mac, you gotta wait until the 28th.
A few days.
Few more days, buddy. You got this. Also, on October 28th, Resident Evil Village, the Cloud Edition, will be coming out on Nintendo Switch. And later on December 2nd, the Winter's Expansion will be releasing.
October 28th is a big day for
Ooh.
Resident Evil.
Apparently, very spoopy. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil Biohazard will be coming to the cloud as well, respectively, on November 18th. Fuck! I'm doing it out of order. Figure it out. Figure it out, babies.
Wow.
2, 3, and 4 is going to be coming out November 18th, November 11th, and December 16th. Which one is it going to be?
I have a hint. It's in game order.
Shit.
That wasn't confusing at all.
No one cares, because here's the most important thing. Resident Evil 4 Remake had a new trailer and a bunch of different editions announced, plus some gameplay of some pretty exciting parts in the beginning. I'm excited, but we got to talk about the dog in the room.
Ha 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 ha. The dog is dead.
So in the original version of Resident Evil 4, there was a dog caught in a bear trap that you could free and everything will be happy again. And this dog is... You showed up way too late, Leon.
Dog is dead.
He's just rotten. He's...
So, as someone who has not played Resident Evil 4 for a long time and is I have a very poor memory, so I don't remember a lot of details.
I don't even remember this in the VR version.
Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it was. I just don't. It's been a while.
From what I understand, in the original Resident Evil 4, if you save that dog, it then helps you in a later boss fight.
Love it.
So is that dog just not here now?
No boss fight.
Oh, of course, that's what that means. No boss fight.
No credits. No dog, no credits.
The game actually just ends right there.
The game never starts.
Yeah, people are upset about this. Do you think this is one of those things that they can now like fix and be like, you could save the dog and it just gets them a bunch of good grace?
Maybe if you spend $4.99.
Save the dog, $4.99.
Literally spend money just to save the dog, and then he still doesn't help you with the boss.
That would be like the dirtiest dirt move that Capcom could do.
It's like, we've been in pretty good graces recently.
Yeah.
How do we
fuck it
make
up?
it rocky?
$5 to save the dog? Got it.
Sounds good.
All right. One little last bit of news, real quick. Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming out in early access on February 24th, 2023. That's it. Did you play that first one?
No, but it seems like a fun little time. I just don't have the patience to sit down and think about how rockets are made. I don't feel like sitting down and being a rocket scientist.
Me either, but people seem to really like that first one.
Yeah.
So, there you go. For people that are into that.
If anyone has some free time upcoming, there's a decent amount of notable game releases.
I think you need a little bit more than just some free time for this shit.
I don't know if there's a typo, but the second one, is its date wrong, Dylan? Is it wrong? Whoa!
What are you talking about?
Whoa!
What are you talking about? October 287.
Damn. What time in April is that?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, listen. Star Ocean: The Divine Force will be coming out October 27th of this year, this week. On PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. I can never tell if these were like first person, third person, or just weird space games, but I've always been curious of them.
So this one, I've never played a Star Ocean game. From what I understand about this one, and this is just my very basic knowledge from trailers they showed at events. This one is like you play as two characters, and one is in space doing sci-fi shit, and the other one is like on a planet in a fantasy world doing fantasy shit. And I'm sure their paths converge at some point, but it seemed cool to me.
I'll have to look more into it.
On October 28th, if you did not listen to us moments ago, is Resident Evil Reverse, their multiplayer thing, on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
At the same time, like we mentioned, is the Gold Edition of Village with the Shadow of Rose DLC on the 28th, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, personal computer.
All right. Also, what we talked about, but did not mention the release date of, the same day, October 28th, is Bayonetta 3 on just the Nintendo Switch.
Slap it, dude. That sounds like a worthwhile one. Beautiful. You know what? Let's just add another one to round it off on October 28th. The full release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will be coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC.
It does not feel at all like a Call of Duty game is coming out this week.
Nope, especially with the early release of the campaign and everything else. I'm probably going to have to wait until next paycheck to even pick up the game. And then a few days after that, God of War fucking comes out. And it's like, that I want.
Yeah.
And then a week and a half after that, Pokemon comes out. And oh, God.
Yeah, this is, it's a bad time. It's a great time,
It's a
but
doozy.
it's a bad time.
I said doozy, mate.
This is, it just feels like just based on time that no matter what, there's going to be games left off our game of the year this year, which just kind of sucks. But at the same time, there's just too much.
Yeah. What are you going to do, man?
I don't know. Cry about it. Complain.
I would love to
We're
cry
great
about
at that.
Yeah, we're New Yorkers. What else are we supposed to do?
Ride in taxis.
No.
And pizza and bagels.
What a step. Well, the second two, though.
Maybe even have a pizza bagel.
Ooh.